Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of The Shadow of the Silvermane, continuation of last time's boss fight. So, well, without further ado, I guess I should also remind you guys, this episode is posted on my channel, Teeironor. The next episode shall be posted on Skoll Shorties channel, links are in the description below. The episode after that shall be posted on Thompshire's channel, and then back to me, so on and so forth. Now, as usual, I rolled the dice in the background, and the dice have decided that Sir Thompshire should go ahead and introduce himself and his character first. Can you please go ahead, Sir Thompshire?
Sure. As always, I'll be playing Benjamin Aaran, the unfortunately handsome traveling swordsman that has been with this very unfortunate crew for what feels like an absurd amount of time. Now he's helping Buhd, trying to free his people from the mean nobleman lady and this stinky two-headed ogre.
When was the last time Benjamin being handsome was a plot point? I really should bring that back.
Wasn't it
I
pretty
think it was-
recently?
I don't think so.
I
think the aspect got brought up, but it wasn't necessarily that.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I brought it up when I compelled you to be uncomfortable around Lady Whitley, I guess.
Yeah.
But like the last time you being handsome was like plot relevant. I guess I sort of like had Ilarion, the lady who turned out to be evil, flirt with you a little bit, but I did that intentionally to
Yeah, that was kind of manipulation on her part.
Yeah.
I think the last one I remember for this was that one Buhd Buccaneer, I think. I'm not sure it happened after that.
Yeah.
Oh, Zul'Galga maybe.
And Bladebeard's mom.
Oh, right.
Oh
God.
yeah, Bladebeard's mom.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that to be
That's
fair,
right.
that's also not so much related to the fact that you're handsome, rather than the fact that Bladebeard's mom is Bladebeard's mom.
Fair enough.
Anyway, speaking of which, the dice have decided that DoomGoblin should go ahead and introduce himself and his character. Can you please go ahead, DoomGoblin?
Yeah, hello. I'm DoomGoblin, and I play son of Bladebeard's mom, Captain Bladebeard. And yeah, I'm here with a bunch of ogres in dungeons. Ogres and Dungeons. A new role-playing game. And yeah, it's kind of getting ogre-whelming here. But we are handling stuff.
I think DoomGoblin, you were the one who was responsible for the previous episode's title, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, probably.
Makes sense to me. Okay. Thank you very much, DoomGoblin. Next, according to the dice, we would have an ogre, come to think of it, Skoll. Can you please introduce yourself and your character?
Yes, I can. I am Skoll Shorties, and I am playing Captain Buhd, the ogre who wants to free the ogres from Stormwind, as that has been his motivated plot for a while now, and we're getting closer to doing that. So it's almost ogre.
Screw you. I'm sorry. But thank you very much, Skoll. And next we would have Zelris. Can you please introduce yourself and your character?
Hi, my name is Zelris, and I play the retreating Lyri, I guess. I don't know how to describe her. I don't know what she did last time, but it was probably something really cool.
Thank you for reminding me, before we jump into the scene itself, I'll actually move your token to a more like lore accurate position. But give me a second. Thank you very much, Zelris. Speaking of what happened last time, a battle for the leadership of an ogre tribe rages on underneath Stormwind. Captain Buhd and Lyri Embersorrow, later joined by Benjamin, Aaran, Captain Bladebeard, and Meruka Trix, are locked in combat against a fell-mutated warlord named Karfok. For Buhd, also known as Moarg, the fight was of special importance as it paralleled a previous duel between the two, one which led to his exile from Dire Maul. As Karfok slowly lost ground, the Ogre Mage Breakbreak sacrificed human prisoners to empower the warlord, eventually leaving him with only one hostage, Chef Clunk. During the fight, Buhd recalled various moments from the past and realized that, in their previous duel, Karfok had also received an unfair advantage in strength. Eventually, though, our heroes were victorious and slew Karfok, cheered on by the other ogre prisoners. Breakbreak then tried to snake his way into the crowd's favor by congratulating Buhd and proclaiming him a warlord, a traditional role he fulfilled back in Dire Maul. However, when the ogre mage then asked our hero what was his first command, Buhd replied, quite in an epic fashion I might add, "Your execution." So, last we left off, the very last thing that happened in terms of game mechanics, Buhd and Lyri just had their turns. Lyri, for your turn, Zelris rather, as I mentioned, I had Lyri sort of play it safe, and for her turn, she just assisted Benjamin or Bladebeard or someone else in terms of game mechanics to sort of play it safe. On Buhd's last turn, Buhd, you threw Karfok away so hard that you killed him. He was in a lot of pain because all the fell magic was sort of breaking him apart. And now, like, all the ogres are cheering you on, Moarg, Moarg, Moarg. You are sort of reveling in your victory when then you ordered Breakbreak's execution. To sort of like set the immediate context for the scene, like in terms of what the other NPCs are doing. Again, most of the other ogres are cheering you on, including Noresh. The two ogres that are on Breakbreak's side are like slowly stepping backwards in sort of like a defensive position. Breakbreak looks fearful, incredulous, defiant, but he definitely feels he's not in the advantage at the moment. And Chef Clunk, who is Breakbreak's hostage, just for context sake, he was looking very demurred, very mute, very out of it, so to say. But when you were victorious, Buhd, you saw him probably like glance up and look at you, and perhaps like a hint of hope in his eyes. Now, before I go into Breakbreak's turn, because he will be next in the initiative order, what's everyone doing?
I'd say Buhd is, as you said, basking in his glory, so he's very, proud of himself. He's given people a thumbs up all around, because that's what Buhd likes to do, I guess. And yeah, so he's taking in his moment of victory to the ogre that essentially ruined his life, but also started his new one. So it's very complicated, but yeah.
Understandable. Just before you go, Lyri, Zelris, just a quick reminder for Skoll. Remember that DoomGoblin poisoned your sword.
I think that's on the ground at the moment, but yeah.
And if you remember, the effect of the poison was whoever you hit gets a +1 in quick and flashy, but a -1 in careful and clever.
Okay.
But that's unknown information to both, to everyone, right?
You players know, obviously, and feel free to do with that information as you please. As for the characters, I don't know if Buhd is aware that his sword is poisoned, but Bladebeard definitely knows that it is.
But he doesn't know with which poison.
Sure. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Zelris. Please go ahead.
So What exactly led Lyri into helping? Just so I can kind of get a picture. Because, like, I was told she, like, retreated or whatever. Like, just so I can get a picture of what's happening.
Basically, you retreated because like the situation looked very dire. Like you were on fire for one, and like Buhd wasn't doing so good in his fight, and you retreated because of that. You came back because you pretty much bumped into Benjamin, Bladebeard, and Mirica.
Okay.
But you're, to sort of play it safe, I kept you mostly in the back, sort of like assisting people rather than on the front lines. But feel free to do with Lyri as you please at the moment.
I'll just leave her where she is.
Sure. What are Benjamin and Bladebeard doing?
Bladebeard, I guess, waiting to see what happens next. If we are still fighting the ogres, or can he continue unlocking the cells?
By the way, the X's on the map are unlocked cells.
Yeah, so there are a few more that are locked.
Yeah, and all the locked cells have an ogre in them currently cheering Buhd's victory.
An ogre or more than one?
Each cell has one.
Alright.
Of either gender, just for clarity's sake. Benjamin?
I think his mindset is relatively similar to Bladebeard. He's kind of just standing back and preparing himself for whatever might happen.
Also a reminder, when your guys' turn comes, you can move your tokens around on the map. Okay. The sort of last thing we left was like, again, Break sort of trying to snake his way into your victory, Buhd, by, oh yeah, Buhd, you're awesome. I was like cheering for you all along. And, you know, basically in Dire Maul, he was the guy who like proclaimed victors in the arena. And he sort of tried to snake his way into that role by saying, yeah, Buhd, you're awesome. You lead us now. What now? And you told him, well, I'm gonna kill you. So Break currently looks, as I mentioned, threatened for obvious reasons, and he will yell at you, Buhd. Do you think you can make do without me, Moarg? Do you think any of the King Gordoks could make do without me?
They will, and they must. You are a plague.
I am the reason the Gorduni are alive today, Moarg. If it weren't for me, the humans would have slaughtered us all in Feralus.
We nothing but a sport and entertainment for their eyes.
I was biding my time, fool. Yes, fool.
I have made arrangements with the humans. They will get us free, and we will be free. But not because of you.
He looks a bit taken aback at that. And he says, and what then, Moarg? You want to take us back to Dire Maul? Is that it?
We will find a new home, whether it be in Dire Maul or elsewhere.
Short-sighted nonsense. Foolish. You continue to have a hostile posture towards Break, correct?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Then Break will spend his turn trying to create a defensive advantage, basically. So let's see if he succeeds. Barely, but he does. He creates a wall of fellfire around himself as a defensive advantage.
Okie doke.
And he sort of, after he does that, he sort of places a hand on Chef Klunk's shoulder, He's not saying anything, but he like gives you a wry smile, like, if you try anything, I have this leverage against you. Make sense?
Hmm.
Okay. On Mirica's turn, she will step forward and what would she do? Because it's really not her scene. I guess she will step next to you, Buhd, and for her turn will provide you with an assist. Basically, on all your rolls until her next turn, you get a +1 from her assist. She's backing you up either with like information or like clearing obstacles from your path, etc., etc. Okay.
All right.
The ogres, the ogres that are on Break's side, will retreat for a little bit, and Break will yell at them, "Stand your ground, fools!" And after taking a few steps, they will stand their ground. But you can tell, Buhd, that they look very uncertain. Like, you can probably tell that you obviously can beat them by force, but they can also probably be beaten by words, if that makes sense. But for their turn, they'll try to also create a defensive advantage.
All right.
And they fail because they're terrified. Because you just killed the biggest fucking ogre they've ever seen in the person of Karfak. Okay. Nuresh, on his turn, he will probably walk towards you, Buhd, and he will say, "What now, Morg? Chef Clunk is the soul of the Gorduni ogres. We can't let him die."
It's very tricky. I'm not sure what we can do to help him, but I want to help him.
I'm sure he will understand if his life has to be sacrificed, but our people will suffer for it.
There has to be another way.
For his turn, I suppose Nuresh will also give you an assist. Okay.
All right.
Benjamin and Bladebeard. You guys decide which order you go in, etc., etc.
You can go first if you want. I have no idea.
No, go ahead. Short, bearded people first.
All right. I'm gonna. I don't know. I'm gonna assist Buhd as well.
Helping charge that Kamehameha. But in terms of narrative, how are you assisting him?
What did the other two do?
Mirica, her assistance is like either pointing out weaknesses or like clearing obstacles from Buhd's path if needed. Nourish's assistance is mostly in terms of advice.
Huh.
Like, I'm not saying you can't assist him. Of course you can, but what do you do to assist, basically?
I don't know. I cheer for him.
Sure. I mean, that can be an assist in terms of like motivation, sure. Bladebeard, how do you cheer for Buhd?
You can do it, buddy. You are Buhd Buccaneers. Remember?
Oh, I remember that. I wonder what those guys are up to.
I don't know, but you need to protect these people now. They are your crew.
Yes.
Okay. Benjamin?
I'll go ahead and kind of stay off to the side and try to create an advantage.
Sure. If need be, feel free to move your token, but an advantage in terms of what?
Essentially, I'm just kind of trying to, try to scope out the room, and if things come to violence, I'll know some way to, take advantage of that.
Sort of just above board, like obviously you can do that, and I will allow you to do that, but an advantage can also be like, oh, say there's a conveniently placed rock that like an enemy might trip on or something. Like, don't think of advantages just as something that you do. It can also be something related to your environment. But that being said, Thompshire, are you sticking with like sort of scouting the area?
Yeah.
Okay. Then give me a careful difficulty 4, let's say, because there's lots of things happening, but your stunt does apply.
Oh, that's tragic.
The sounds and smells of ogres cheering are a bit overwhelming.
Overwhelming?
Sure. And since I see that you move closer to like one of the closed cells, probably the ogre that's in there probably like shouts in your ear at an inopportune time and distracts you or something.
Well,
That being said, Buhd and Lyri, it is your turns. You guys decide in which order you do. You go.
I'll assist Buhd.
How?
Lyri will, I guess, with her gun, be ready to, I guess, give suppressing fire and, I guess, limit the movement of anyone if they try anything.
Sure. I will remind you, Buhd and Lyri, that you guys are both very, very wounded at the moment. So keep that in mind. Buhd, you're 1 hit away from falling. Lyri is 2 hits away.
That's why I'm giving everything to Buhd. I don't mind if he gets fucking killed right now. I don't care.
Oh, okay. I see how it is.
You have like 5 assists.
4.
For you'd have to be really bad to. No.
Unlucky. Not bad. Unlucky. Skoll, on that note, your turn.
Alright. Buhd will slowly approach the 2 ogres. Still with his I guess vigor and he's obviously very full of himself right now, but also like he's very intimidating. And he sees that the 2 ogres are very unsure, but also like terrified. And
on one note, feel free to move your token. On another note, when you step closer, you probably see like Break gripping Chef Clunk's shoulder tighter. If that makes sense.
But Buhd would look at Chef Clunk with a look of sorrow and sadness, just in case. But yeah, but he would glance back over at the 2 ogres.
They look
You don't.
hesitant. My bad. Go ahead.
Now you're good.
You don't have to serve him anymore. You can be free with everyone else.
They look at each other. Would you like to treat this as an attack against them?
As in, would it hurt them? Because it's mostly just to convince them to...
You think an attack, in the game system we're using in Fate Accelerated, attacks don't necessarily have to be physical damage, I suppose, because your goal, your goal is to take the ogres out of the fight. Whether that means killing them or having them join your side or whatever, that's like another story. And you can take these ogres out of the fight in other ways than just violent means, like in what you just did. So we can treat your words to them as an attack if you'd like.
Okay, and like, obviously he's coming off a little bit more as brash than like sympathetic. Like, oh yeah, come join us. Be best buddies. Be best friends. It's more like he's trying to intimidate them into joining, but also like he's clearly being fair.
Mm-hmm. Then that sounds like a forceful or a flashy attack, leaning more towards forceful, and I will oppose with their forceful. And you remember that you have 4 assists on this one.
Yep, and I also have my stunt. I'm in charge now.
That
I can use.
What's the wording on your stunt? My bad.
Whenever I threaten someone, I can gain +2 to forceful.
Oh, that's very true.
I barely have used this one, so.
Very true.
Alright, and then I'd like to use the stun and
They were very lucky. So, what currently you have, you quote unquote would deal 4 points of damage to them with the 4 assists and your stunned. Let me know if you want to improve your roll further or not.
I think using the stun and the assists sounds good on my end.
Okay, so I give you a choice. These ogres, they're like, it takes 3 hits to take them out, meaning, and a hit I would sort of cap at 3 damage. So I give you the choice. Would you like to damage 1 ogre twice or both ogres once?
I'll go with 1 ogre for now and work my way up.
Sure. The like more northern one or the more southern one would you like to quote unquote damage?
Let's go with southern.
Sure. So while the one to the quote unquote north doesn't look phased, and you probably have a recollection of that one being like a particular like corrupt kiss ass, so to say, bootlicker. The one on the south looks terrified, like he almost drops his weapon, but he holds his ground. Like you can tell that one more push and he's out.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Sure. Break's turn. He will ignite a ball of fellfire in his hand and say, "Last chance, Moarg. Will you accept my benevolent advice? Benevolent, yes. Or shall you be consigned to the ashes of history like poor Carfuck over there?"
I will not stand with you.
Very well. He'll throw a fell fireball at you. How do you defend yourself?
Bud will use his handy cannon as a shield.
Give me your forceful. Remember, you have the assists.
Okay. Oh no.
So that's a tie. Time means Break gets an advantage.
I'd like to use one of my fate points to add.
Also remember that you guys still have the advantages from last time on the sort of right side of the screen.
Oh, right. Cool. Well, I'd like to use one of my fate points for to mitigate that.
What are you invoking?
I will invoke heavy weapons expert.
Sure, makes sense to me. So yeah, you block the fell fireball with your cannon. Does no damage. You look very, very cool in the eyes of all the spectator ogres who all ooh and ah at you, and you see like a scowl on Break's face, and you get the inkling that okay, shit's about to get real.
Yeah.
Sure. Miracle on her turn, she will walk up and she will look probably at Benjamin because he seems like the most level-headed of you guys. And he'll look at you like, what are you going to do? And based on that, she'll decide her action.
I guess I can have her assist me.
Sure. Yeah, we can say that she assists you with whatever you decide, either in terms of advice or like providing a distraction or whatever you need. Okay. Ogres on their turn. I think Break would yell at them, "Charge, you morons!" And they will both come to charge at you. How would you, because you're also the closest one, Bud, how would you defend yourself against them?
How would Bud do it? I don't want to do cannon all the time.
They're both armed with like maces that they will use against you. Would you like me to remove Karfak's corpse from the map, or would you like to keep it as a sort of landmark?
We can keep it for now, but if it gets annoying, we can always just kind of move it, I guess, a little bit.
Sure thing. So let me roll for them.
Yeah, I'll have I'll have Bud try to grab their weapons and like shove them.
That sounds like a forceful defense to me. Okay, let me see what assists you still have. Still have nourishes. Lyri, did you assist Bud? I don't remember.
Yeah, she did.
I did for this turn, yeah.
Okay, so you have nourishes assists, Lyri's assist, and Bladebeard's assist still. So meaning that's a 7 to their 5. The ogres gathered a few advantages before, so I will use 2 charges of Watchful Eyes to deal 2 damage to you, Bud.
Let me see.
If you don't mitigate it, you will be out of the fight.
Exactly. If I use one of my fate points, will that mitigate it entirely?
If you use it to improve your roll, it would mean a tie, meaning they get an advantage. Also keep in mind you still have a charge of helpful memories, and if Zelris wants to lend you an advantage, that's perfectly fine as well.
Memory. Would the memory... Well, yeah, the memory thing, I guess, would still work in the way of helping them out somehow.
Yeah. It was mainly related to Karfak, but it's still relevant to this point.
I will use one of my fate points and also try that memory thing out.
What are you invoking in terms of fate points?
I will invoke former warlord. I feel like he's fought ogres like these before.
Definitely. And with a fate point, that would mean a tie. Are you also using a charge of helpful memories to negate their advantage?
Yes.
Sure thing. Okay. So yeah, you swat them aside with ease. The one you intimidated earlier looks especially intimidated now, but the other one looks set to stand their ground. Nourish, on his turn, he'll probably yell at the sort of intimidated one, "Stand down, brother." He'll make a careful attack. Tie means Nourish gets an advantage. Calming presence, I'll call it. And while I type that in, Benjamin and Bladebeard, it's your guys' turn. Turns, plural, my bad.
Were both ogres attacking Bud?
Yeah. The one that was intimidated earlier was sort of hanging back, but he was also attacking, yeah.
Then I'll go ahead and try to attack the ogre that's closest to me. I'll just try to, quickly move in and catch him before he can have time to react.
Okay, so that's a quick attack with Mirka's assisting you, correct?
Yep.
Okay, give me a quick, please. Okay, you would deal 2 damage to that ogre. You wound him and he looks at you furious, but you can also see like a bit of panic in his eyes. DoomGoblin?
I don't know. Maybe it's time to start attacking the two-headed one.
Also, Thompshire, feel free to move your token if you'd like.
Yeah. Can I try to kind of like hide between 2 ogres and Buhd fighting?
Oh yeah.
Kind of like sneak in between them?
Yeah.
Little old me.
Of course. Can I ask what's your end goal?
So the two-headed one doesn't see me.
Okay. Well, 2 questions. First off, are you using your turn to like create an advantage or do a sneak attack?
Let's say a sneak attack.
Okay. Then yeah. Feel free to.
I'll like try to shoot him with my gun from like I'm gonna like peek in between 2 ogres or 2 of their legs or something.
Then yeah. Feel free to give me a sneaky attack, and I'll oppose with break breaks. Careful. You're aiming for break break, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. He notices your shot at the last moment, and remember that there's like a small wall of fellfire that's sort of protecting him. He sort of slightly redirects it to burn the bullet.
Should I use my fate points to do damage, or at least like destroy his advantages?
Just for reference's sake, Break has taken 1 point of damage from much earlier in the fight, just for reference's sake.
Then dealing 1 point wouldn't be that bad. He would have to take a bigger level something.
Sure.
Sure, I'll maybe invoke my professional kleptomaniac. You know, I'm being sneaky.
I don't really.
All right.
I mean,
Yeah, fine.
You if you can give me a little bit more, maybe, like a bit more of an explanation.
I used my pistol, piratey pistol. Can I invoke pirate captain?
Sure.
Much more simple.
So you're using that to deal 1 point of damage to break.
To
Well, because it would improve your roll by 2. My bad.
yeah, I'm gonna add +2. Yeah.
Okay. Sure thing. I think he will use a charge of your consequence shot through the heart to negate that.
All right. At least I did that. It's no longer usable.
Sure. You had your turn. Thompshire also did. Buhd and Lyri, it's your guys' turn.
Quick question. Do I still have the Hearthstone?
Yes.
Okay, and do I still have my stun?
You have all your stunts.
Okay.
Because it's a new session, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, seeing the conjure's broken out, Lyri is going to try and get that chef out of that conundrum. So she's gonna use her stun to teleport close and try and get that chef free.
Can you move your token to where you would like to teleport?
just past the little fighting people.
Oh, okay, you're not. I was thinking you might want to like teleport right next to them or something. Okay.
I mean, if I can, I would, but I want to be a bit conservative about it.
I think you can. Well, it's up to you if you would do that or not. Entirely up to you.
Tiny bit close, but not right next to, you know.
Sure. Then can you give me? This will not impact your turn proper, but can you give me a sneaky with your stunt applying versus breaks careful?
10.
He is currently distracted and does not notice you.
Okay.
You still have your turn.
This ogre, he's being held hostage, right? This chef guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's he wearing? Is he wearing that big apron?
Yeah, but he also he looks very thin and like very scarred and like recent scars at that. Like he's clearly not being treated well.
And how conscious does he look? Like, does he look like he'll make a response if I grab him?
He is conscious. Like as I mentioned, during your duel, he looked like out of it, sort of like very like demoralized, pretty much. When Buhd won, he like you all saw like a glimmer of hope in his eyes. He hasn't done anything, but he's clearly like awake and conscious, although he's mostly looking at Buhd at the moment, if that makes sense.
All right, I'm going to grab onto his apron and I'm going to start thinking about home to activate the power of the Hearthstone.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think you. Well, I guess give me a sneak in. I'll oppose with Clunk's careful, but I don't think he'll notice you.
6, he might.
He's too distracted. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you do that and you start thinking about home. Clunk is none the wiser. What do you do something on your turn in terms of like actions, like in terms of game mechanics?
If I can do an advantage, I guess I would.
You definitely can. Related to?
I guess Lyri will be trying to remain as hidden as possible while charging up this Hearthstone, so maybe something about that.
Mm-hmm. Give me a sneaky difficulty, I guess 8, but with your stunt applying.
9, just barely.
I mean, it's good enough. What would you like your advantage to be called?
I guess just like stealthy casting or something.
Sure thing. Would Lyri be aware that she herself might also disappear when that countdown sort of finishes?
I think she's aware because Mirka explained how the Hearthstone worked.
She didn't really, but
yeah, I mean,
I guess she said use this if you want to get out of danger, and I think Thompshire reiterated the idea of thinking about home.
Okay.
But Lyri can also come to her own conclusions, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I don't think Lyri really has any particular thoughts. I think she just wants to use this because she trusts the power of the stone.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Buhd, it is your turn.
After, I guess, shoving away the ogre's weapons, he would let out a roar of intimidation at them, or rather, well, yeah, if he can get both of them, I'd like that. But yeah,
it will depend on your roll. But
yeah, it would depend on my roll.
Mm-hmm. So it would be, I would count it as a forceful attack. But before you roll, let me remember who is assisting you. Nourish is. And no, Nourish isn't because he spent his turn attacking. So, okay, nobody's assisting you, so it's just a typical forceful roll with your stunt applying, okay?
Okay.
So that's 2 points of damage. You have the option of, quote-unquote, knocking out the already wounded ogre or wounding the less wounded ogre.
I'll go ahead and do that to the one who is, who I've already kind of convinced to stand down.
Okay. So since you defeat him, what would you like him to do? Would you like him to run away or just like stay out of your guys' way or like join you? But he can't join you in terms of game mechanics, but he can join you like morally, I suppose.
Join us morally, I guess, but kind of just like stay out of it too. Kind of like he's like joining Bud's side, but he's like also like, all right, I'm just gonna sit here.
Sure. I will move him out of the way. He drops his weapon and he starts chanting "Moarg, Moarg," but he's definitely terrified, and he probably goes to walk himself into this open cell.
Bud gives him a thumbs up and turns his attention to the remaining ogre.
He looks angry and very frightened. Okay. That was your guys' turns. Break. Guess you'll try to throw another big fell fireball at you, Bud. How would you defend yourself?
I'd say Bud would continue to use the cannon against Fellfire,
Sure.
Like, blocking it off.
Give me a forceful.
Oh.
Oh, that's very good. Yeah, Nourish won't like not Nourish. Break won't like push anymore on that one. Okay. Lyri, since you're closest to him, you clearly see him get frustrated, and he probably like takes a look at Chef Clunk, and you can probably see him thinking, should I use this? Shouldn't I use this? Is this the time? Etc. Etc.
Mm-hmm.
Miracle on her turn. I guess because she sort of has. I guess I'll roll a d2. A 1 is She'll assist Benjamin. A 2 is She'll assist Bud. So let's see what happens. Okay. She moves in to assist you, Benjamin.
Makes sense.
The ogre, who is currently surrounded, more or less. I guess he'll try to like assume more of a defensive stance, because like you guys are pretty much surrounding him at the moment, and not much he can really do otherwise. Like, he can obviously go on the attack, but he knows that, oh, even if I take someone down, the others will come for me, so it's best to defend myself at this point. And that is insufficient. You'll see like fear start overwhelming him. Nourish,
Overwhelming him.
oh, screw you. I'm sorry. Nourish on his turn will yell at this ogre. Come on, brother, stand down. Morg has proven his might. He is the true chieftain. Let's see how he does. Pretty well. Not enough to knock him out, but you guys definitely see that, like, he is about to drop his weapon, like he's barely hanging on to the fight at this point. One more hit and he's out above board. Benjamin, Bladebeard?
I would like to...
Well, actually, sorry to interrupt. Would you guys like for Nourish to use his advantage to knock this ogre out of the fight?
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Okay. So Nourish will use his calming presence, and the ogre in a very defeated manner, just drops his weapon and kicks it to the ground, sort of like a petulant child, and raises his hands. Like in the universal gesture of surrender.
Yeah. But Bud will give a nod to Noresh and then turn his direction entirely to Brick.
Just for context's sake, he will also move into the empty cell. Bud and Bladebeard? Not
Benjamin
Bud,
and
but
Bladebeard.
Benjamin and Bladebeard. My bad.
I was gonna say, what do you mean by me? I don't go for a minute.
Look, you guys all have names starting with B except for Zelris. It's hard to keep track, I guess. I don't know. Benjamin.
I think we should change your name to Biri, so that our names all match.
Or you
Lyri.
should be Lenjamin, Ladebeard, and Lud, I guess.
We'll call her. We'll call her
Bladebeard.
Blade Runner Lyri. There we go. That way she has a B in front of her name now.
So, human and dwarf, what do you do?
Yeah, Bladebeard is going to kind of hide behind the corpse of the what's his name?
Karthok?
Karthok, yeah.
Karthok, yeah. And I would like to pull out a few of his little daggers and kind of spill a bit of poison over them.
Sure. Can you roll? Well, yeah, you probably should roll on your table, DoomGoblin.
Yeah. I have only 2 left, but I'll roll a d6, and I need to get either 2 or 6.
And if you don't land on those, do reroll, and also remind me. What's the 2 again?
2 is the Knight's Journey.
Oh, so
The very, very poisonous one.
probably the most optimal outcome. Like probably
Yeah,
the
I
one.
have one more, which is Prince Anduin.
Mm-hmm. It's this is probably the most desired outcome in Bladebeard's mind, although he probably doesn't realize it. Okay. You have coated your daggers in this poison.
Alright, I would like to... Can I make this sound quick? Or should I do it sneaky again? Yeah, I guess I throw a dagger without him noticing me. I try to do that.
Sure. Give me Okay, I was trying to think how to handle the poison part, but I think I have something in mind. Okay. Give me your sneaky attack and I'll oppose with break Rex careful. Tie means you get an advantage.
Yeah, I'll spend a fate point to he doesn't have any consequences, right?
You are correct.
Then I'll use step. One of my aspects.
Okay. Okay. Let me think. You throw the dagger and it hits him. And it would do 2 points of damage, certainly. And let me roll. I'm going to roll a d20 to see if the poison does additional damage or not. Okay.
All right.
It would. Okay. Okay. 0 additional damage, I guess.
Amazing.
Truly.
What if you rolled minus?
Um,
Would he gain?
No, I would have just treated it as a 0. As to like the narrative reason why he wasn't wounded more, probably related to the fact that it's a big ogre and it's a small dagger.
Yeah, but I have more.
Certainly, you certainly do. I will mention that like this was a thrown weapon, and we can say that it probably just like nicked him or something. If you were to like stab him up close or something, the odds would be much more in your favor. Make sense?
All right. Yeah.
Okay. That was Bladebeard's turn. Benjamin, I don't believe you've had your turn. Am I correct?
Yeah. I haven't done anything yet.
Okay, it is your turn.
Wait. What did break do? Did he take a level 2 stress?
A level 2 stress, yeah.
Oh, all right.
I forgot to mention it. My bad. Thank you for reminding me.
Lyri is still holding on to the two-headed ogre, right?
To the chef, not the two.
The chef.
Yeah. So, what is the two-headed ogre doing about that?
He doesn't know Lyri's there. You also don't know Lyri's there.
Yeah, I didn't say anything, so...
Last thing he did was try to throw a fireball at Buhd.
Okay. Then I guess I'll try to create an advantage again, like I tried before.
Sure. Once again, careful difficulty 4, I suppose, with your stunt applying. That's a 5. You would succeed. Just for curiosity's sake, Zelris, can you roll me your sneaky? You would not. Yeah, you would not notice Lyri. Okay. Benjamin, what would you like your advantage to be called?
No idea.
You have the advantage from last time. It's all ogre now if you want another charge on that.
Makes sense.
Sure thing. But in Lyri now, before we go into your guys' turns, specifically Skoll, let's talk for a little bit. Break would definitely notice that he is at a disadvantage. He would consider surrendering, but how much are you willing to actually keep him alive? Because we obviously need to negotiate a little bit at this point, and if the terms are acceptable to break, he'll continue fighting. Make sense?
If I don't think Buhd. That's hard, because if he surrenders, then it's all right. Well, you're gonna be a prisoner for the rest of your days. That does that sound great to you? I don't know. It's harder for me to I'm trying to think of a way for would Buhd be down for this guy to be spared, because he knows that he is incredibly
and
he's a snake. Yeah. He's a snake, and Buhd's
And that's why I'm asking the optimal outcome for break, if above board, if break were to defeat you guys, his ideal scenario, because he's not a guy who wants to lead from the front, his ideal scenario would be okay Buhd, you can lead these ogres, but you're gonna listen to me. That would be his ideal scenario. Now, and Buhd, you did proclaim your execution. I'm going to execute you, break. I'm going to kill you. So also keep that in mind if Buhd would be willing to sort of break his word, so to say.
I don't think he would, especially for break.
Sure.
That's why I'm thinking. Like, I'm trying to think like a way around it. Like, it would be extremely fitting for this guy to like be imprisoned for the rest of his days in Stormwind by himself. But I think in Bud's case, I think Bud wants blood. So
what does everyone else think? Like, do you guys have an alternative other than the fight to the sort of death at this point? Like an outcome where like Break sort of keeps his life, so to say?
I mean, maybe if before that Bud falls unconscious, he's the only one that really wants to kill him. But if Bud is still up, I guess we need to kill this guy.
Well, we are we're negotiating for what happens, like what would happen if Break were to surrender right now, and right now Bud's not unconscious.
Yeah.
Well, if he surrenders, he surrenders. I don't think. I think on Benjamin's end, I don't think he'd kill him if he surrendered.
Sure. Sort of above board, like obviously, as I have the option of like conceding the fight, but I don't want to cheese the game mechanics, because like if Break lives or dies, I think should be more of a plot relevant decision rather than a game mechanic relevant decision at this point. So that's why I don't want to abuse the fact that Break could just surrender and you'd be obligated to keep him alive, if that makes sense in terms of game mechanics. So that's why I'm asking you guys, would there be a rationale in which his surrender would be accepted, or should the fight continue?
What? How about this, Bud? If he like just falls unconscious, maybe that would be too dishonorable to kill him in that state, and that's how you decide to keep him alive. Would that make sense?
I'm trying
or
to
would
think
Bud be like, oh, he can't fight no more, let's kill him anyway?
Well, also to be fair, like I don't think falling unconscious is like a valid concession choice at this point, because like it would be obviously Break would be like playing possum, because to his knowledge there's nobody hostile near him.
Maybe a loose brick falls from the ceiling. I don't know.
I guess, like, if you guys really want to stretch it, sure, but I don't think that would be a suitable conclusion to the story.
Yeah.
And again, don't take this as, oh, we really need to have Break concede. This is just like, is there an option for that, or should the fight continue? Okay?
Okay. My personal thing is I say let the fight continue, but hey.
I say let the fight continue.
Okay. Thompshire and DoomGoblin, do you have any dissenting opinions?
Nope.
Not really.
Okay. Then continuing on, Buhd and Lyri, it is your guys' turns. Lyri, before your turn regarding the Hearthstone thing, your Hearthstone will, because a turn is like 6 seconds, a Hearthstone is 10-second casting. Your Hearthstone would go off at like the end, like probably at the end of Nourish's start of Bladebeard's turn. Bladebeard and Benjamin's. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You guys decide what you do.
I guess I'll just keep building that advantage up.
Sure. Give me, I guess, another sneaky with your stunt applying.
9 again.
That is sufficient. You will get another charge. And just because those were the rules last time you tried this, can you give me a careful to see if you manage to keep concentration with the Hearthstone?
Sure.
I would have required a 2. If you want, you can use your advantage for this, or a fate point, or you can...
I'll just use one of my careful focuses.
Okay. Oh yeah, you do have those.
Yeah.
You have a lot of advantages. Good on you. Okay. You keep concentration over the Hearthstone. It will go off at the end of Nourish's turn. Okay, that was your turn in terms of game mechanics. Feel free to do something in terms of narrative if you'd like, but if not, it would be Buhd's turn.
I'll let Buhd go.
Alright, now that the two ogres have been taken care of, Buhd would start running over with his cannon armed and ready over at good ol' Break.
Feel free to, for one, move your token, and you see him like tense up, and like as you approach, you see him light a fireball, and you'll be able to act before he does this, obviously, but you get the feeling that, okay, I'm being charged, I've got to threaten the hostage to keep myself safe. Make sense?
Yeah, I'd say I would use Buhd's stunt, the cannon, to fire at Break before he does anything.
So give me it'll be a forceful attack, and I'll give you, how much should I give you? Another 8 bonus, okay?
Okay.
So that would be 6 points of damage. Mitigating it wouldn't be particularly efficient, so are you amplifying it, or shall we stick with 6 points of damage?
I'll throw a fate point in there. Why not? Add an extra 2, unless that doesn't do anything.
It would do something.
Okay, good.
Like, I was planning for him to have his level 6 consequence taken, but if you add another 2, it would be also his level 2 consequence. What are you invoking with your fate point?
I will be invoking former warlord, since this is very personal, and he wants to annihilate this guy from existence. Yeah.
Definitely, he will use a charge of Wall of Fellfire to mitigate that damage. So make it just a 6.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay. What's the level 6 consequence you inflict on Break called? And what damage specifically do you do? Keep in mind, this is like a very grievous wound.
I'd say I know this is very common with Buhd, but I'd say he'd take the hand off that was gonna fell cast at Buhd, or rather at the hostage.
Very fitting. It will be his left hand, or their left hand, I guess. What would you like the advantage to be called?
Do I want to go with disarmed again? we always use that one. I'll call it what's a good name for it? I will call it
DoomGoblin is the expert on ogre puns, if you'd like to
I know
ask him.
he does have good ogre puns. You got any Doom?
No, nothing that relates to hands as well.
Yeah. I'll just call it revenge, I guess. Revenge wounds or something. Or how about just grievous wound? How about that?
Oh, grievous wound.
Grievous wound.
What about an grievous wound? Like an ogre? Because he's an ogre.
Wait, what?
Exactly.
Would you like to go with Zelris' pun or not? It's your choice because you inflicted the damage.
What's the pun?
You add an O and a grievous. Now it's O grievous. It's nothing.
Oh, grievous.
Oh, grievous.
Sure, I guess.
Okay. There's the consequence. Yeah, you blow his hand off, and both heads scream out in pain. You have definitely made him very, very angry. Because on his turn, he will like immediately throw a fell fireball at you with his good hand. How would you defend yourself, Bud?
I guess with his after firing his cannon, he tried to use his cannon as a shield again.
Sure. Give me a forceful. Tie means break would get an advantage. But I will spend. Yeah, I will spend a fate point to inflict the damage.
Dare I use my final fate point? Because that means that anyone can convince me to do shit. But I don't want to be out of the fight. I feel like it's really important for Bud to remain conscious. For when Breakback is dealt with.
If you don't want to use your fate point, you also have the option of using the consequence you just inflicted, or any advantage, like provided the player gives it up to you for free.
I'll go ahead and use that advantage, because I feel like he's in a lot of pain after doing that.
The grievous wound consequence?
Yeah.
Okay. That would make it a tie. Break would get an advantage from that.
Yeah, I can live with that.
I'll call it pressing the attack.
Alright.
Okay. Miraca's turn. She's gonna like look at Benjamin and Bladebeard because you guys are sort of behind, and like, do you guys indicate something like any intentions? Because she will base her actions on what you guys are doing. Benjamin and Bladebeard. DoomGoblin, you're a chipmunk again. I miss this. I miss this.
Oh, it's finally back! And we haven't had that in ages.
Is it fine now?
It is now. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm planning to attack again next turn.
From range or from close up?
Yeah, let's say he is like preparing to run forward.
Okay. Then Benjamin, do you plan something similar? Because otherwise she will assist DoomGoblin. Bladebeard rather.
Oh, sorry, what did DoomGoblin say?
I'm gonna run forward and attack.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, honestly.
Okay, then she will assist Benjamin because she has more faith in Benjamin. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. The ogres are out of the fight. Nourish, on his turn. Nourish will provide you with assistance, Bud. But what he does specifically, you remember how I mentioned that Break sort of created a wall of fellfire to surround him. Nourish will assist you, Bud, because he is a shaman. He will call upon the earth to like create a path for you through the flames. Basically, he will like split the floor tiles apart so that you have a path to reach Break. Make sense?
Okay, yeah.
And in terms of game mechanics, Nourish will assist you. Okay. Benjamin and Bladebeard.
Does my Hearthstone go off now?
Oh, you're very, very right. I'm very sorry. Yeah. Just as Nourish does that, yeah, your Hearthstone would go off. Are you still holding on to it, Lyri?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Lyri, you and Chef Clunk will teleport away to the middle of SI7 headquarters of all places.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna put anything on screen at the moment. But
Yeah, that's fair.
you all see like probably like a small magical light at Break's right. And if you all were to look, Chef Clunk's gone. Break looks incredulous, and you see him roar with rage. Lyri, you arrive in the middle of an unfamiliar building with an ogre who was sort of sitting on the ground at the moment, and now he just looks startled and looks around very, very confused as a bunch of humans, and probably like some gnomes as well, and maybe one or two dwarves, just like all turn to look at this ogre. You're still... Yeah, would you still be invisible?
Maybe, but
Let's
would.
do a roll. Let's just do a roll.
Yeah, she'd turn it off even if she was.
Oh, you would turn off your invisibility?
Yeah.
Okay, then no roll necessary. Yeah, let's just resolve the narrative thing. Yeah, currently the agents are all startled, but you see them start reaching for weapons.
Do I know America's name? I do, don't I?
That's a very good question.
I'm not sure if anyone ever told us.
I believe Varian did.
I think a very
I don't know.
No. You do know her name from like very early on when she was protecting Elswith.
Elswith, of course.
Elswith introduced her to you guys, yeah.
I guess Lyri will just say, I just took this hostage out of a situation. I was on a mission with Mirka the gnome. She kind of scratches the back of her ears.
Can you give me a careful? Let's see how well you do.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. When you mention Mirka, like the wheels start turning, and like probably a higher up would say to everyone, stand down, everyone, and this higher up, probably like a human woman, would come to you and say, so is the situation under control? What's going on?
It seems to be. This hostage is being threatened, so I managed to take them out of the scenario. It seems to be wrapping up pretty good. And then Lyri kind of, I guess, offers up the Hearthstone to be taken back.
She would take it from you, and she'll say, well, you did a good job, citizen. We'll take the ogre from here. What about you? Do you know where the situation is?
Yeah. It's there's some ways down into there through the Brawlers Guild. Where am I again? The castle, right?
No, this is SI7 headquarters, Old Town.
Okay. Well, could I at least get escorted out? I don't want to get lost in this building.
Yeah, she would give you a nod, and per your request, you would be escorted out. But like, the lady would probably ask you for details. How much would you tell her?
I'll tell her everything. I don't have any reason to try and, I guess, get on the bad side of the people in this city right now.
Well, including the fact that you illegally entered the Brawlers Guild?
No. She will not mention that, but she will mention everything else apart from that, yeah.
Okay, but how do you fill in that hole in the story?
I guess Lyri just says they entered from the other way and then found the passage into the Brawlers Guild.
Okay. Can you give me a sneaky, and I'll oppose with a careful? Just barely, but she does believe you. Okay. Good job on that. Okay. I guess her final question would be, so will the Brawlers Guild allow us to send more agents?
I don't think so. The commotions really caused some kind of panic down there from what I saw. A lot of people fled into the Brawlers Guild from the tunnels.
She would sigh and say, "Well, you did good regardless. We'll take it from here. You are dismissed. If you know of a way to rejoin your friends, you're more than welcome to."
All right, thank you for your service. And Lyri will kind of nod and give a little wave.
What's Lyri's plan?
She's gonna kind of like hang around and relax, enjoy the time she has right now out and about.
Okay, sort of just like wandering through Stormwind, let's say.
Yeah.
Okay, duly noted. We will come back to you on that note. Okay. Benjamin Bladebeard.
All right. I'm gonna move towards Buhd
Feel free to also move your token.
like this. And I would like to assist Buhd.
How specifically?
I tell him, all right, Buhd, do it. Use your anger. Let the hate flow through you.
Don't listen to him.
Also, quick reminder, Thompshire and Skoll, no Obi-Wan jokes. DoomGoblin hasn't seen the latest episodes.
Damn,
Wasn't that a Sharp Pride quote? I don't think that was.
Man, I really wanted to say hello there.
No, everything is spoiled for me. I can no longer enjoy the show.
Hello there.
Okay.
Shut up. Do it.
I should say the hello there wasn't actually like Buhd saying it. I just wanted to.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Skoll.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So yeah, Skoll, you get Buhd rather. You get an assist from Bladebeard. Benjamin. Thompshire, are you with us?
Oh, sorry, I forgot about
Oh, right.
I think I'm gonna also run up to Buhd, and as I'm running, I'll just take one of my axes out and just toss it at like the ogre's arm.
So you're attacking Breakbreak, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Give me a quick attack, please. Or forceful, I leave it up to you. He swats it.
What time is?
Sorry? Benjamin threw an axe at Breakbreak, and I was just about to explain that Breakbreak blasts it aside with his good hand with a small blast of fell.
Unless I use my advantage.
What's your advantage?
It's all ogre now.
Oh, advantage, not stunned, my bad. If you use your advantage, you would tie.
What? But am I not being assisted by
Oh, right, Miracle is assisting you, my bad. Right. I forgot about that. My bad. Yeah, you can use your advantage. But I will use one of my fate points to negate that damage.
If I were to deal 1 point of damage to him, what would he get?
Let me check something first. Give me a quick second. His level 3 stress. So do we leave it at that? What do you think?
I don't think so. Where is his consequences?
He Skoll's already used the
Oh, he
consequence.
already used them.
But you can still invoke it with fate points. You just don't have a free invoke.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll use one of my fate points.
And you're invoking Breakbreak's consequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he will also use another fate point to negate that.
Do I want to spend another one? I don't think so.
Okay. He swats your thrown axe aside, but you can see that it took great effort from him, and he looks drained, especially with the fact that he's missing a hand at this point. But it is your turn. You have Bladebeard and Nourish assisting you.
Bud would rock across the rocks that Nourish formed for him, and he would move to pummel his shoulder into Breakbreak to send him towards the wall behind him.
Give me a forceful attack, please. So that's... yeah, you would pummel him into the wall. He would take his level 3 stress. Yeah, and I'll also move the token, and well, let me move Breakbreak first. Perhaps for the first time ever, Buhd, Mowarg, whatever, you see fear in his eyes, and he yells at you. Mowarg, think of this. You don't have the knowledge of how to lead the Gorduni. Only I do. I've stood beside every King Gordok since our tribe first arrived in this world.
And you see where you brought us? Look around you.
If it weren't for me, we'd be dead. And where were you when the humans threatened us?
Where were you when I was betrayed?
The other head would yell, "Mercy, mercy, King Buhd. Mercy, future Gordok. Yes, yes."
I promised an execution.
Then that execution will be yours. As Breakbreak will use his turn to attack you from point blank with a fell fireball. How would you defend yourself?
Bud would try to hit the arm to send it elsewhere.
Give me a forceful, please. Tie means Breakbreak will get the advantage.
Does he have me and the other ogre assisting him?
Oh, that's very true. Bud still does. Yeah. So with that, yeah, you punch his arm aside, and the fireball goes wild. You see the horror on Breakbreak's face. Okay. Miraca on her turn, sort of the odd man out here. She will rush forward, and I don't think there's any realistic way that she can assist Buhd because she can't really speak. So I guess as usual she will assist Benjamin. Nourish on his turn will yell out encouragement at you, Buhd, and he'll yell out, "Justice for our people!" But you feel encouraged, aka you get a point of assistance. Okay?
Okay.
Benjamin and Bladebeard.
Already. Alright. I'll keep assisting Buhd. More rage, more anger.
Okay. I don't know if Buhd feels assisted by that, but sure. I will allow it.
Words of encouragement.
Sure. Benjamin?
Kill him and eat his heart.
I think I'll try to. I'll assist Buhd.
Wasting Mirka's assessment, sure.
Does it not transfer?
No. Well, it does not, but I guess it would be helpful if you're going to be attacked.
Yeah, I guess. But I think at this point it would make sense to help Buhd, because I honestly don't want to steal his kill.
Sure. But you currently have 3 assists, as it is your turn.
Does it's been a minute. I can't see his horn from here. Does Breakback still have a horn?
Good question. Let me check. Give me a minute. While I do that, because this will take me, unfortunately, a hot second. Oh, never mind. His 2-eyed head has a horn. His 1-eyed head doesn't have a horn.
Okay, that works. Buhd will move to grab the horn from the 2-eyed head and will start pulling to rip it out.
Give me a forceful, please. With 3 assists, it makes it a tie. Tie means you get an advantage.
I'm gonna use my final fate point, screw it.
Okay. What are you invoking?
I will invoke... I've used Former Warlord a lot, and I can still use it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Former Warlord Amnesia, because this is what they did to him, and Buhd is finally getting payback.
Sure. Makes sense to me. You would inflict a... Oh, I just deleted Bladebeard's fate point. I'm sorry. Here's... Okay.
There, he gets mine.
Yep. What's the level 2 consequence you inflict on Break called?
I'm trying to think of like a good horn pun or a good ailment. How about dethroned? Because it's kind of like a crown almost. Not really, but
Sure.
you know.
Sure. Makes sense to me. Can also signify the like moral blow, so to say. So yeah, you rip the good head's horn off, and Break yells out in pain, and he once again tries to not reason but like make you stand down by saying, I am the Gorduni Moarg, not you, not Karfak, not King Gordok. I am, and you will not stand in my way. As he will attempt to blast you with a fell fireball.
I guess Buhd would try the same thing again with trying to deflect it by throwing the arm elsewhere.
Give me a forceful. With 3 assists, that would make it a 10. But I will use Break's pressing the attack to deal the damage to you.
Do I have anything to help me?
Lyri's advantages are gone, so because she's gone, so no. Benjamin doesn't have any advantages that you can invoke for free. You have Break Breck's level 2 consequence, I suppose?
I will do that consequence then.
Okay. You just barely manage to deflect that fury-filled attack. Okay. Wait. Did I see that right? Yeah, I did. My bad. So you just barely managed to deflect it, but he would get the advantage back. Okay.
All right.
My bad on that. Okay. He's clearly very desperate. Mirika's turn. Is there a way she can realistically assist Buhd without just getting in the way?
I mean, Buhd doesn't have any weapons. Maybe she can throw him a weapon or something.
Or she can be the one.
She, let's say on her way there, she picked up one of the maces of the ogre guards and she throws it in your direction, giving you an advantage. Okay? Not an advantage, an assist, my bad.
That sounds good.
Nourish, on his turn, will also assist you by chanting Mowarg, and like sort of inciting the other ogres to also start chanting. Okay?
Okay.
Benjamin Bladebeard.
Bladebeard would like to assist by saying, "Eat his heart, Buhd, to gain his courage."
Benjamin, you see that Mirika's about to stab Bladebeard. She's thinking about it at least.
Well, I'll also assist, but forget the eating part, please.
Okay. Buhd, you have 4 assists. It is now your turn.
All right. Buhd will take the mace that she just lent him, I guess, and he will move to strike it into Breck's head after he just ripped out the horn.
The 2-eyed one.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a forceful attack. That would be 1 point of damage, but I will use Breck's last fate point to negate that, because otherwise, yeah, he will be defeated.
Oof.
I am out of fate points at this point, so if anyone discovers Breck's aspect, you can compel him and I'll have to accept, I guess. Okay. On his turn, Breck will try to... Like, he will probably, like... what happens is, with his with his remaining arm, he, like, catches you as you try to attack with the mace. And he will try to use that, the fact that he has gripped one of your arms to, like, incinerate it, if that makes sense, making a forceful attack. How would you defend yourself?
I guess Buhd would try to, like, pull away, like, try to, like, get him to lose his grip.
Sure, give me a forceful defense with 4 assists. That would be an 11. Okay, even if I use my thing, it would not be enough. Okay. Mirika on her turn. What can Mirika do to assist you at this point? I have no idea what Mirika can realistically do to assist you.
I don't
She
know
can
either.
Write words of encouragement. Because Buhd can read and like Bladebeard.
Yeah, but she's like small and Buhd's like several meters away. She can't see that far. Yeah, I can't think of a way of Mirika realistically assisting Buhd, so I guess She will spend her turn trying to create an advantage regarding observing the situation that she will then allow Buhd to use if need be, I guess.
Makes sense.
But she fails miserably at that. Miserably. Okay. Nourish will continue chanting Moarg, so but that's one assist. Benjamin Bladebeard.
I'll keep assisting.
How specifically?
How specifically? I was thinking something maybe a little more proactive, I guess. I guess it's like maybe trying to take a more like intimidating stance, as in, hey, you're outnumbered, and you know.
Sure. I will allow that. Makes sense to me. DoomGoblin?
I think Bladebeard will get bored of cheering Buhd.
Sure.
And I'll skip my turn. Just like cleaning his nails.
Sure. Makes sense to me. But it is your turn. You have 2 assists this time.
Alright. Buhd would move to go for another swing, this time at Breakback's chest.
Give me a forceful attack, please. The only way for because that would deal the damage to Break. I have Break's pressing the attack advantage that I can still use, but that's really, I can't really justify it using it on a defense in this case. So that being said, Skoll, Buhd, how do you defeat Break and or kill him if that's what you want to do?
Yeah, so Buhd would slam the mace into his chest, and Buhd would stare down imposingly while holding the horn in his hand.
The one-eyed head will yell out, will just mumble, "Mercy, mercy, mercy!" And the two-eyed head will yell, "You don't know what you're doing. With me, you could be King Gordok. You can roll over all the ogres. Please!"
No, I am no king, but I am going to set us free. Every single ogre had lost horn, but not you. You kept yours selfishly. You imprisoned us, saying that we were free, saying that we live. This was no life. This was a prison. You just let us rot. Let us be entertainment. You are no friend to ogres. You are no friend to me. You are just honor to everything we stand for.
The one-eyed head will start frantically chanting, "Mercy, mercy, mercy." The two-eyed head will say, "I did what I had to do to ensure our survival, Moarg. Please."
No. You are no longer needed.
Buhd would impale the horn inside of one of their throats.
Which one?
The two-eyed one. And
Sure.
he'd I think after doing that he'd slit the other one's throat.
Sure. Yeah, they both begin gargling. The one-eyed one continues mumbling, "Mercy, mercy, mercy." And the two-eyed one will just stare you down with eyes filled with hatred as he would also pass. And Break fall already to the ground, but falls limp at this point.
Bud would raise the horn in the air, all bloodied.
We are free!
All the ogres continue chanting more frantically this time, more warg, more warg, more warg, and you see Nuresh start unlocking all the cells. And he will also call upon the 2 other ogres to start unlocking the cells.
Bleh, I can't speak. Bud would smile and then drop the horn on the ground after it being raised and all that.
So while Nuresh and the ogres are unlocking the cells, meanwhile the imprisoned ogres continue chanting Moarg, Moarg, Moarg. What do you guys do?
Why didn't he eat his heart? I'm disappointed. But I'm gonna help unlocking the cells, as I'm kind of sad.
Did you say the heart part out loud?
What?
Did you say the heart part out loud?
Yeah.
You're still saying that?
Yeah, he would gain his courage.
And he would also be a cannibal monster thing.
Hey, it's Buhd.
That's exactly what I mean. Eating people's heads is enough. Let's not resort to cannibalism, please. And after he says that, he'll go help Bladebeard up on the cells.
Miracle will do the same. And yeah, because of all you guys engaging in this process, in less than a minute the cells will be open, and like all the ogres will probably rush past you guys, like completely ignoring Benjamin and Bladebeard and Miracle, maybe even accidentally trampling you if you're not careful, to like come over to Buhd, and they would all cheer Moarg, 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 and probably try to crowd surf you at this point.
No longer are we entertainment for the humans. The humans have promised us freedom, and we will find a new home together.
The ogres all listen attentively.
Benjamin just kind of bends down and whispers to Bladebeard. Why is he kind of talking like he's going with them?
Well, maybe he is. He's gonna bring them to a new land where they can be free and do ogre stuff.
Well, it's gonna take ages. There's stuff going on around here that we still need to solve.
Yeah, well, we have time.
Do we?
Yeah.
To be traveling to the other side of the world and back?
Well, I mean, we're gonna resolve everything that's happening in Stormwind, and then we're gonna go find these ogres a new home.
And what, we keep the ogres in cages till then?
I
It's
don't
not
know.
like we can have them wandering about Stormwind.
Miracle has been writing the whole time and hands you a note, Benjamin, that says, "The king promised to secure transportation. It is up to Buhd if he goes with them or not." And then she adds, for clarity, transportation back to Feralus.
So we're speaking manual teleportation and not necessarily a portal per se.
She nods.
Can we really trust her and the Alliance? I mean, they have to want something in return, right?
Well, getting rid of corruption in the nobility, isn't that enough?
Miracle hands you a note, Benjamin. That says, I'm struggling with like the exact wording, but like the gist of it is, we were punishing a crime, if that makes sense.
Look, let's just go along with this and trust Stormwind. Okay?
Alright. Although last time we trusted her, we ended up in a prison.
Well, aren't we out of prison now?
Not because of her. But alright. I'll play along.
Good. And I'll pat Bladebeard's head like an animal.
Bladebeard goes to bite him but misses.
Buhd, what do you say to your ogres? You probably were not privy to Benjamin, Bladebeard, and Mirka's discussion.
No, but I mean, Bud's ideas, you know, they get to leave the city finally, so and you know, find a new home. But
We will no longer be bound in chains. We will be free, my friends. Everyone.
The ogres cheer no matter what you say. Like you could tell them, and now we're gonna like eat grass or whatever, and they would still cheer at you.
oh,
You have
yeah.
won over their hearts and souls at this point.
Brickbeck would use us as tools of entertainment. He would use us for everything. He was no ogre. He was no friend. Now, he in hell.
Can you give me a flashy? Okay. Carry on.
We are free!
and Bud would chant his fist in the air.
And the ogres would cheer along for you. Can you give me just another flashy just for convenience's sake? Okay. Yeah, you would raise your fist in the air and the ogres would join you chanting Moarg, Moarg, Moarg. And this feels like a fairly familiar scene to you. Not the exact circumstances, obviously, but having a small troop, I suppose, because there's like 20 of them, of ogres chanting your name.
I feel like Bud would have almost like a glimmer of familiarity back in Teeironor again, like almost like a flashback of it.
Above board, the flashy was if you had gotten like probably more than a 6 or more, they would have started chanting in King Gordok instead of Moarg, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. That would have been interesting.
But you definitely have won their hearts and minds, just like it's not their vote at this point. But yeah, the ogres chant with you, and I think Nourish, who was just hanging back, he would approach probably like Benjamin and Bladebeard and Mirka, and he would ask, "Are you friends of Moarg?"
Obviously.
Then you have the Gorduni tribe's gratitude, outsiders. And he would probably like clap Benjamin Bladebeard on the back, and he would probably start moving past them to join Moarg and the ogre. Not Moarg, Buhd and the ogres, or Moarg, I guess, up to you.
Did he even notice Mirka?
I said that he clapped Benjamin Bladebeard.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, and that should be answer to your question.
Fair enough.
Mirka doesn't look like she minds. as Nourish joins Buhd, he will ask, "What now, Morg?" With his look, he's always had sort of like a look of concern for every time you've talked to him, but this is the first time that he looks confident. Like he feels, okay, whatever Morg has us do, we'll manage to do it, if that makes sense.
Well, now we must find a way home, which will take a lot, I am guessing.
Do we find a way home, or do we make a way, or do we make a new home?
Well, I guess both. We're gonna have to find a way home and also make our new home.
I'll walk over to Bladebeard and just... Well, remember that the king has arranged transportation for all the ogres back to Kalimdor.
Do you walk over to Bladebeard or to Buhd? Because you said Bladebeard.
Buhd, I mean.
Okay. So do we go back home, Morg? Darmo was not in a good strait when we last left it, but with your leadership we could definitely bring back the good old days. I haven't snacked on an elf in a good while.
I scratch my ear and pretend I can't hear that.
Buhd has seen many things in his travels. Many friends Buhd has made. Things will be different and change, I think.
Change? Do you... change how?
Well, I am not the same ogre you might remember. I only remember glimpses of being Moarg. I've been mostly Buhd for this time.
Nourish looks like he doesn't quite understand, but he nods at you to continue.
I have learned many different things, not eating people's heads and making friends with non-ogres. It'd be a new age, a new time, I think. A better time, though.
Okay. More like Nourish nods, like listening attentively, and all the ogres also like look at you sort of in awe. Like the chants of Morg have sort of like quieted down at this point as you start explaining what's going to be the future. Doesn't mean that they necessarily understand what you're saying, because yeah, you're particularly smart for an ogre, but they're listening.
We will find new ways and we will be better. But it will take time and it will be different, I think. But it will be good too.
Well, with your leadership, of course it will be. I've always had faith in you, Morg. And the ogres like nod like, good. Do we eat humies? Shut up.
We are going to work with the Humies. They promise us freedom when Break sell us to bad ladies. They are good for now. If they backstab, though, that will not be good. But I don't think they do that.
If they backstab, we smash. And all the ogres, except Nourish, start chanting, smash, 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 which, as you are very well aware, is probably like an ogre's favorite word and pastime.
Yes, we smash our enemies, but for now we enjoy peace. Wherever chef is, maybe he make us nice meal too. Wherever, no, he don't look so good too, so he could use a meal as well.
All the ogres start cheering like with wild abandon, like you've definitely spoken the right words. Except Nourish, who looks at you and sort of like whispers to you, "Where is the chef?"
he disappeared with my friend Lyri.
You don't know that.
Oh, I don't know that?
Lyri was invisible at the time.
Yeah, nobody knows that.
Oh, okay.
Well, he gone, but I don't think it was by Breakback's order, because he seemed to want death, not teleports. So we will find him. Humans in city seem very smart and knowledgeable, so maybe they know where he is. Hopefully.
Nourish nods, slightly concerned, but fairly confident as well. Like 80% confident, 20% concerned, let's say. And one of the ogres says, "Can we eat that?" Pointing at Break.
Well, there are better foods, but
Bud will kind of look at Benjamin to see what he thinks.
I shake my head very vigorously.
No, Break, he tastes awful, and he no good. We get proper meal, proper food.
The ogre looks disappointed, but obeys your word. Above board, by the way, in case you guys aren't aware, or don't remember, I should say, there's 2 exits to this entire underground compound. Going to the Brawlers Guild, which Benjamin and Bladebeard are still not allowed to go in terms of game mechanics, or the exit that's around this way, which is where Buhd, you were first brought into the prison.
Okay.
So yeah, the ogres look at you attentively, expecting you to tell them what to do.
Benjamin will go back to Mirika and just ask her, what now? It's not like we can parade ogres through Stormwind, right?
She will quickly write you a note that says, "Can any of you teleport to the keep, or I can go and alert His Majesty that basically job's done." And yeah.
Well, teleportation is a bit beyond my current set of skills, so that would be appreciated.
I can try.
No, Bladebeard, you cannot. Last time you teleported, you ended up in Westfall, and well, that's another story.
Bladebeard, roll me a clever and a careful. If you critically succeed in both, you can teleport. Just for the hell of it. No. You start straining to, and you think you get the magic right, and you let out a fart.
I knew it.
Oh, I'm still here. It didn't work.
I'm just face palming.
Mirika will make her way past you guys and past the ogres, and at this exit that I'm pinging on the map, there's a set of stairs that would lead upwards, and she would go that way and presumably exit out into the city.
I would like to loot the 2-headed ogre.
Okay. Inspecting the 2-headed ogre,
Does he drop a mount?
no. You see that, the bloated corpse, at this point, it smells like burning, even though he isn't really on fire. Can you give me a careful, actually? Okay, with that, I think the only thing that you can really take off of him with that roll is scraps of his clothing, honestly. Or if you are interested in taking his fell corrupted flesh or other body parts.
No. No.
Okay. Benjamin and Buhd, what are you guys up to?
I'd say Buhd is both trying to calm, but also like just kind of talk with all the ogres, and also nourish.
Are you talking about something specifically? Like, what I'm basically thinking is, are you like asking them what's the situation back home? If you want them to talk to you about that, or are you just like maybe reassuring them? Like, what are you talking about with them? They will listen attentively and answer any question you might have, if you have any.
I'd say reassuring, but also I do think he's full of questions too, because that does make sense. He'd be curious how it's going.
You would hear that basically this is something that Nourish also like briefly mentioned when you talked to him like several days ago, but all of them would say that fairly recently there was this nasty human who came with like a sand troll and an undead and a bunch of other miscellaneous characters, and the human specifically usurped the role of King Gordok, and all the while he's been like sending ogres to their deaths in search of some weird vanity project. And because of that, Daramo was in, no pun intended, dire straits, because all the best ogres were being sent off to who the hell knows where. And in addition to that, like the other races of Feralus, like oddly enough, the Yetis and the Gnolls like sort of formed an alliance against the ogres and were pressuring them all the more, and the ogres were like lacking in manpower to repel them. You would know that you'd hear that these 20 ogres that you've just rescued, they were charged by this new human King Gordok to go on a scouting mission on the coast of Feralus, led by Karfok and also joined by Breakbrek. You would hear that this new King Gordok this new human King Gordok didn't particularly respect Breakbrek either, and Breakbrek was very unhappy about that. And on this scouting mission, they encountered a troop of human bounty hunters led by a fancy guy with like a tabard that featured a tower, and the fancy guy beat them up. But when they were sort of on the verge of being annihilated, Breakbrek sort of negotiated a deal with the fancy guy that, okay, we accept to be sold into slavery as long as I get some special treatment, and we all stay alive, basically.
Okay.
And as a sort of like punishment, you would sort of get the idea that that the humans got this idea from Breakbrek, like Breakbrek suggested it to them. But as a sort of form of punishment, the humans cut off all the ogre's horns.
Bud would feel at the tip of his horn for a moment upon that realization, but would remain firm in his decision of killing Breakbrek and Karthok.
The ogres would also mention that Karthok especially was wounded in the struggle against humans, and he received several blows to the head, explaining why he was sort of amnesiac when you first met him in the dungeon.
So he was like me.
The ogres wouldn't necessarily understand that. Like, they haven't truly comprehended the fact that you don't really remember being Moarg, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, the ogres would tell you that there were several points where they like considered rebellion, but the fact that Breakbrek was telling them, no, we have to stay put, now is not the time, and also the fact that the humans held Chef Clunk especially hostage sort of like dissuaded them. And after you went off to fight with Mulgoon, Break, you would hear from the ogres that Break sort of saw this opportunity to break free, and with the aid of this fell mutated Karfok, he slaughtered the guards and fed them to the ogres. That's why you don't see any corpses around, but he kept several of them as hostages and as a bargaining chip. And Break predicted that you would return, and he wasn't particularly sure what to do with you, so he first wanted to have a discussion with you, and if you were not agreeable, he planned to kill you. Kill you, and then, you killed Karfok, and Break decided, okay, you need to be the warlord, and I need to be the puppet master behind the throne, and then you killed him.
Well, no more we will be swayed by Brick. His taint has already been enough for us.
The ogres will nod enthusiastically. Benjamin and Bladebeard, if you are listening to these explanations, you would also hear this, okay?
All right.
And yeah, while that's happening, Zelris, are you still with us?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anywhere in particular, above board, where Lyri would wander off to, in terms of, places in Stormwind? Or is she just, wandering randomly?
She's just wandering randomly for the time being.
Okay, then I'm going to roll a dice to see where you might end up, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, the dice that I rolled say that you'd sort of wander through the old town and more or less head into the Dwarven district. Is that agreeable?
Yeah, probably that.
Mm-hmm. And as you wander through town, again, people don't really pay much attention to you because, well, you do look like a blood elf, but it's also Hallow's End and high elves are accepted, so you maybe get a few looks, but nothing too particular, let's say. You would see, wandering out of the Dwarven district, once I put them on screen. Give me a hot second. You will see everyone's favorite Nexus Lord, joined by two of his guards and a weird mutated orc, just wandering around like tourists. Do you pay any attention or engage with them in any way?
Lyri acknowledges that they're there, and she remembers the orc from the Brawlers Guild tournament. But she just wants to chill and, I guess, recover from that horrible, stressful fight.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not going to start any trouble.
Mm-hmm. Can you roll me a sneaky, and I'll pose with the next Lord's careful to see if he notices you?
Sure. Does my stunt apply, or...?
Only if you're in... Well, it doesn't matter, but only if you're intentionally trying to be sneaky.
Okay.
Okay. The Nexus Lord wanders on, unaware. You will see that, in addition to the orc, he's also joined by two ethereal guards. And the guards... you know those, scenes in cartoons where there's, the hero follows, a rich kid around and they have to carry all the shopping? Yeah, the guards are filled with, are carrying bags and crates of, miscellaneous souvenirs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you do anything else? Regarding this group, I mean.
Oh, no.
I'm assuming you would not wander in the same direction that they would.
Absolutely not, no.
Okay, fair enough. Sure. Then, yeah, I think sort of back at the ogre compound after, well, several more minutes will pass. Do you guys do anything else in the meanwhile?
Yeah, I would like to explore all the rooms and kind of, see if the dead guards, do they have something interesting on themselves?
The ones Break sacrificed?
Yeah, or any other that I find.
Give me a careful regarding the guards. You find their gear, which seems to be slightly damaged. No weapons.
Money?
Probably, I don't think the ogres would really care about the money, so yeah, you would find some money, but with that roll, not a lot of money. Probably like several silver pieces in total. In total.
All right, I'll take it.
As for the rest of the compound, if you wander back the way you came in, again, you would notice two doors. The room that was incinerated by Lyri is now properly charred, and the other door is locked.
I'll just peek into the ashy room. Is there anything that didn't burn?
A bunch of furniture. Like the big thing that burned was the table in the center, but the table wasn't connected to everything in the room, if that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, I'll try to unlock the locked door.
Can you give me a careful, I suppose? Difficulty 4? You succeed. Okay. You unlock the locked door, and the first thing that you notice is it smells of ogre. And you probably fairly quickly make the connection that, Break was receiving preferential treatment, thanks to what you heard the other ogres say. This was probably his room. As you see a big, the biggest bed you've ever seen, and what looked to be I think I mentioned this before. What looks to be three statues that are arranged so that they're looking at each other, but you see that they're very crude. They're not made by a stonemason. They look to be made by an amateur.
All right, some sort of a ritual thing.
They're all facing each other, and there's a bit of space between them. Yeah. Other things in the room, you would find a cabinet that smells completely awful. If you were to open it, you would realize that there's a bunch of rotting meat in there. Not for any nefarious purposes, it's just that Break received a lot of food, and he didn't eat all of it, so a lot of it's spoiled.
It's true what they say about ogres. They are like onions. They smell like hell.
It's definitely a very unpleasant smell here. And among the foods, you'd also notice some luxury foods, not just hunches of meat, but also some expensive sweets and a bunch of fancy stuff. But all of it is spoiled, if that makes sense.
Shame. All right, and that's it.
Oh, and I guess you would, in the various drawers, you would also find a spare change of robes. Welcome back, Skoll. Bladebeard DoomGoblin is exploring Break's rooms. Would you like to know what he found?
I heard little bits and pieces, but go ahead.
A bunch of spoiled food, a gigantic bed, a change of robes, and three poorly made statues that are facing each other in what looks like to be a magical combination.
Okay.
Can I just for fun try to move one of the statues?
Sure. Yeah, I don't even need you to roll. You move one of the statues. If you're expecting something to happen, no, nothing happens. Well, actually, give me a careful. Give me a careful. You notice that, like, it's very subtle, but there's, like, a powder that's, like, forming a weird magical pattern that's joining all the statues together. Now, the fact that you've moved one of the statues doesn't, like, mean anything. It's just that whatever spell you could have done won't work anymore because one of the pieces in that ritual is now out of place.
All right. Yeah. I'm not interested in this. I'll go back to the ogre room.
What were Benjamin and Buhd doing while Bladebeard was off looting?
I think Bud was still talking with the ogres, but I don't think he was doing that much.
Sure. Benjamin?
I guess he's kind of just been wandering around the room, trying to not engage with the ogres too much.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
Not really, just passing time.
Sure. Then eventually, and I think this might be a good place to end today's session, but eventually Mirica will return to the compound and she will be joined by several Stormwind soldiers. They're obviously armed, but their weapons are sheathed, and they would yell out from like the balcony that leads to the ogre compound proper. I'm trying to find the exact wording. Mr. Aaran, Mr. Bladebeard, Mr. Buhd, and Mrs. Embersorrow. Well, we are here to free the ogres.
We already do that.
Yes, well, we are here to escort you to your lodgings, and well, if you would like them to go, we are here to have them go.
Who the hell is Embersorrow?
Lyri, but
Wasn't she Rose Guard?
look, we've already talked about this a bunch of times. How drunk were you all of those times?
Very, I guess.
How are you guys, by the way, treating the fact that Lyri is absent?
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was just kind of waiting till someone mentioned it.
Well,
I mean,
I didn't
Bud
find
saw
her.
her leave, and then she came back. So, well, he doesn't know she came back actually. So, yeah, I think Bud just kind of thinks she left.
I bet next time we see her, she's gonna have, I don't know, red hair and pink eyes.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Big guy's no good.
Why is that?
You forget Pink Eye? Good.
Can't say I've had the pleasure.
Well, Tamal has pink eyes, or at least like pink
Pink.
everything.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess so. Isn't it more? No, I guess it is pink.
So, above board as we wrap up this session, and we will do a slight fast forward to the start of the next session. But basically, the guards would like to escort the ogres to some lodgings that are nearby. That were prepared beforehand. They didn't know where Lady Whitley's compound was, but they just prepared some lodgings for the ogres when they would be rescued. Would you guys like to fast forward the start of the next session to we just finished housing the ogres, now you guys can do whatever you want?
So there ain't gonna be any heckles. Throwing spears at ogres.
No, not particularly. It will definitely catch some attention, but no heckles. Now, before that happens, is there anything else you would like to do in this underground compound, or would you be leaving it as well?
I think Benjamin would like to go back and check those two rooms, the one that was burning and the one next to it.
Okay. Bladebeard already unlocked the second room. You would find the same things that I mentioned to DoomGoblin. The first room, well, from your direction, is the burned one, where you'll find a bunch of furniture. All the paperwork is missing above board, taken by Lyri. And you wouldn't really find much else in that room, other than probably a spare change of clothes that you realize is women's clothes, and probably a spare weapon or something, but not much else.
Okay.
In the other room that you would instantly recognize by the smell to be the room of a luxurious ogre, you'd find the same things as Bladebeard: a big bed, a lot of spoiled food, a change of robes, and these 3 statues that are arranged in a weird symmetrical position that's, well, since Bladebeard moved one of them, is not so symmetrical anymore.
Okay.
And the statues, again, appear to be made by an amateur, not by an actual stone, like a professional.
Do I detect any sort of magic from the statues?
Give me a careful. Yeah, you would detect an infusion of fell magic, not active, but you realize, oh, this is if I move the statue back here and channel a bunch of fell magic, I can probably use these to perform a ritual of fell magic, though I'm not certain what that ritual would do.
Then I'll go ahead and break the statues.
Easy enough, because they're poorly made, you're able to do that. And I imagine this is more Thompshire speaking than Benjamin speaking when he does that.
Who knows?
But yeah. Anything else, Thompshire? Benjamin, rather.
Not particularly, no. He just dusts his hands and boots and just gets back to the main.
What about Buhd? Do you do anything else in the compound?
I don't think so. I think Bud's kind of, he just wants to get out of here and get all the ogres out of here safely.
So you'll be helping the guards guide the ogres and probably preventing any misunderstandings, etc., etc.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, so we will start next session right after all the ogres have been properly housed and fed, etc., etc. Make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay. Anything else you all would like to do, or shall we end today's session?
I think we can end it.
Okay. So, thoughts on today's session?
Good.
Blood got his vengeance.
You did. You certainly did. A very climactic fashion as well.
You got to kill 2 of the ogre peoples, so that was great.
You are now the undisputed leader of the ogre peoples, I guess. Also for the viewers, if you want to know what the hell am I talking about with the Darmo situation, read the World of Warcraft traveler books. That's what the hell I'm talking about, pretty much. And if you head to Darmo, we will probably touch upon that in one fashion or another.
Woo.
Also, to everyone, you all have reached a significant milestone. Well, let me check if that's the correct term, because I always mix up if it's significant or major, but as usual, you all get the option of adding a point to whatever approach you would like, whatever stat, and all the significant, that's the term, a significant milestone. If you have a level 6 consequence, you can clear it. When did you get your level 6 consequence, DoomGoblin? I don't remember.
It was Jabu, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Juba.
Juba.
Yeah. At this point, you can clear the level 6 consequence. You guys can improve one of your stats by +1. As usual, I would kindly ask you all to let me know beforehand before we start recording the next session. And of course, you can do the stuff that you can always do on a minor milestone, aka switch approaches, add a new aspect, add a new stunt, etc., etc. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
And we can discuss more of that, like behind the scenes, let's say. So, not to monologue too much, let me know, what are your guys' thoughts on today's events? The sessions, I should say.
I mean, I'm quite happy with how it all went down. Bud got a little bit of his ogre mojo back, and he freed his people, and he got what he wanted out of it. So, good session for Bud, I guess.
Definitely a Buhd victory this time. Also, very clever move, Zelris, with taking the hostage to safety.
Thank you.
That was very well done.
Although I forgot to give the SI7 people the paperwork I got for them, so whoops.
Shrug. I mean, quite honestly, I wasn't sure who you were taking that paperwork for, so that's fine by me, I guess.
Okay.
Benjamin and Bladebeard. Oh, not Benjamin and Bladebeard. Thompshire and DoomGoblin. Do you guys have any thoughts for today?
I don't think I have anything in particular to add. I think it was mainly like a good finality story point for both. And we were there to help.
Yeah, we assisted Bud a lot, and he won, so great. It would kind of be dumb if he lost in the end, and we had to kill the two-headed one.
I mean, it was very close several times, because Bud was 1 point away from being defeated. And Break did have better stats, it's just that you guys compensated with assists.
Yeah, I only have one potion left, and I know which one it is, although I don't know what it does.
Yeah, you saved the best for last.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, I did.
Your daggers are still poisoned, I suppose. I guess they still would be, at least for probably like an hour more, something like that, let's say.
Sure.
I would like to ask you, you don't have to commit to anything. And I imagine this will probably be the topic of conversation for your characters in the next session. But any plans, what's the next step for you guys at this point?
Lyri wants to go to Aaran.
Okay.
I think that Bud wants to help out as he promised with the Stormwind situation. What remains, I guess. And then get the ogres settled back into either Dire Maul or somewhere better than Dire Maul, somewhere in Fairless. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Bud's gonna remain there, but at the very least, he wants them to get them home and all that stuff. Because I think that he still does want to also get his memory sorted out by going to Zandalar, but that's kind of like endgame Bud, I think.
I will mention that based on like what the ogres have told you of the situation in Dire Maul, doesn't mean that that's accurate, because they've also been like away from Dire Maul for like a month, probably a bit more than a month. But basically what I'm trying to say is, based on their latest information, just like teleporting them back to Dire Maul and that's that, probably would not be the safest choice, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I figured it would be one of those. I think like Bud would want to get it like scouted out, and if it's not safe, then they would have to find somewhere else, which I think Bud is fine with, but he's, gotta make sure the ogres are okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll definitely see regarding that front, because like even if you guys like decide to overrule Bud and do like go to Aaran, etc., there's still like 20 ogres housed in Stormwind with nothing else to do at this point.
Oh yeah, I don't want Bud's priorities to go above others, so he's cool with that.
And again, this is what we're talking about right now is not you guys committing to anything. I'd just like to get your thoughts as both players and as characters, if that makes sense. What about Benjamin and Bladebeard?
I think Bladebeard would probably want to have like his cousin situation handled, or maybe try to tackle the necromancers in Stormwind problem that they heard about not very long ago.
Okay, first of all, you started your sentence with, I think Bladebeard would, and I was thinking, what cousins does Bladebeard have?
What? Sorry.
Problem.
I'm sorry, it's late.
And
Yeah, but Benjamin, I mean. There's also the problem of necromancers. There's also a problem of the of some void worshippers as well. But I also wouldn't be opposed to going to Dalaran, and that's essentially it.
Mm-hmm. Also, just before you go, DoomGoblin, because I just realized this. Yeah, there were times. I think this is definitely not the first time where I've asked you guys, what's your next step moving forward? But I think this is the first time in recent memory, like, well, at least concerning recent sessions, where you guys might have the opportunity to discuss this in character as well.
yeah. And
sorry for interrupting you.
No biggie. Yeah, Benjamin would like to, just go with the flow. If you're going to Dalaran, he would go there. If you're going to Sailog or somewhere. I also had a plan to rob Lady Whitley if I manage to get any of her papers, but that Lyri took them. So maybe I'll think of another plan. But I was like, alright, she's in prison now. She, her treasury is, not so secure now, so maybe I can find a way to get a bunch of free money.
Well, to be fair, Lady Whitley is under arrest, but not in prison. She hasn't been tried and found guilty yet.
Yep, but she is in Store and Keep, right?
Yep, under confinement, but fairly luxurious confinement at that.
So yeah, if I told one of her, for example, if I told some of her servants like, oh, Lady Whitley told me, blah, 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 they can't really check with her because she is not at her home. But yeah, that's kind of...
Yeah, I would still require a rose from you, your stunt would come in, etc., etc. We'll see regarding the specific situation if that ever happens.
Yeah, I'm just saying that that's something that I was planning, and I might act on that plan.
Sure thing. Sure thing. Lots of options going forward and lots of potential story threads that could be explored. Any other thoughts for our viewers while I roll the dice for shoutout time?
Yeah. These so-called companions didn't even notice that I was gone. Wow.
Wait, you were there to begin with?
Who's Lyri?
Yeah. Who's this Embersorrow?
They're mean. What can I say? But again, dear viewers, thank you for watching and listening to us. I'll ask these people to talk about themselves and how lovely they are. And speaking of, I guess, forgotten companions, the dice have decided that Zelris should go ahead and talk about herself and her projects first. Can you please go ahead, Zelris?
Sure. I make machinima. I do things on Twitter. You can watch stuff on YouTube or on Twitter. Or you can watch it on both YouTube and Twitter. That's it. Thanks.
Yes. Her stuff is awesome. Do check it out. Thank you very much, Zelris. Next, according to the dice, would be Sir Thompshire. Can you please go ahead and talk about yourself and what you're doing?
Sure. You can find me both on YouTube and Twitter as Sir Thompshire, and I've been making essentially just renders lately, but I'm working on a new machinima project that will hopefully come out soon. TM. Emphasis on the TM.
Sure. Looking forward to that. Thank you very much, Thompshire. Next, according to the dice, would be DoomGoblin. Can you please go ahead and talk about yourself and what you're doing?
Yeah, hello, it's me, DoomGoblin. I draw stuff. I'm a digital artist, and I post my art on the internet, and you can see it.
It is very pretty art. You should see it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, DoomGoblin. And next, we would have Skoll. Can you please talk about yourself and what you're doing?
Yeah, I am Skoll. I play it as Buhd, and you can find me on Skoll Shorties on both YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch, where I do a lot of things game-related, particularly WoW-related, with machinimas, lore videos, all that jazz. I'm more frequent on Twitter, but I am trying to get back into the swing of things on YouTube. The machinima I'm working on is going to take probably till July, and the garage video I'm working on hopefully will be out sometime next week or the week after. I don't know. Videos take forever. But yeah, you can expect Warcraft-related content definitely on there.
Above board for our viewers, we recorded this on June 26th. The video will be out in July already. So look forward to Skoll's work, I suppose.
Well, it's June 25th, but yeah.
Well, time zones. I'm sorry.
Oh, right.
But still.
I got confused.
The video will still be out in July. I'm not going to check the calendar right now, but in July. Okay. Thank you very much, Skoll. And I was your Dungeon Master, Game Master, Teeironor. I do this series, which is a lot of fun, and another series titled Legacy of the Rimland. That's also a tabletop RPG series set in a homebrew universe with a different bunch of lovely people that I would recommend you all check out. I can actually kill important lore characters there, unlike here. I cannot kill King Varian here, but I can kill the equivalent of King Varian there, I suppose. So that I guess it's worth checking out for that. But other than that, thank you as usual for watching and listening to us. We shall be back next week most likely on Skoll Shorties channel. and we will see you there. Goodbye, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye bye.